Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, Lauren, and Danny. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Woo!
Yes!
Episode 5.
Five!
Cinco de Mayo.
No, we're back with a fresh episode called Boy in a Band, the 5th song on our album. What's it called?
Sad Girls Club. Did you
Wow,
forget?
it's like we're connected. No, I was trying to
was
get you guys to
horrible.
say it.
And you forgot to say a new episode of the Cimorelli podcast.
I was going to say
You
that
don't even
next.
sound like it anymore.
Yeah.
I changed
Oh, no.
it.
I know.
Hey,
She's having to do the same thing every
She's
time.
trying to have variety.
okay, whatever. Irrelevant.
Variety's a spicy
Welcome,
boy.
welcome to episode 5. We have some interesting things today. This is Boy in a Band, so we're going to talk about guys who are jerks, shall we say?
So you're saying every boy in a band is a jerk?
No.
That is generalizing.
Guys who are too into themselves, and these guys, a lot of them tend to be drawn to being in bands. I don't know what it is, but it just happens.
the
I'm
camera.
just
Not all.
Fame.
calling it.
It's in the glam.
You two.
Just
they
calling
do
it as I
plenty
see
of
it.
charity work.
Okay, shut your mouth.
Catherine.
Okay, Catherine's missed discrepancy today.
All right, let's start with, a little clip of the song. Can we get that, Frank? Thank you.
Thanks.
He's the best, he's the fun, and I'm just having fun. Yeah, that's what I said. Now I'm done. Now I get why they said to me, never fall for her, never fall for her, never fall for her, never fall for her, never fall for a boy in a band, never fall for a boy.
Oh, I like to point out, totally unrelated to the song, that Amy is rocking like the Belle look right now, like her hair and her top. She looks like Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Whoa, you're right. That's true.
Like the way her hair is. Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you're watching the video version, then you could see otherwise. Sorry, but
Sorry
just
to the
imagine.
readers.
Describe it in vivid
Just
detail.
picture
A
it.
yellow shirt and brown hair.
Okay, that's enough. Ladies,
And gold
ladies.
jewelry.
Ladies,
Listen up.
let's do highs and lows.
Hey.
All right, you want to start youngest? Want to start neediest?
Neediest, greediest. Neediest, greediest.
So weird.
No, don't.
All right. I'd like to say my high and my low are both this morning. So this morning,
What a roller
my
coaster.
low was the fact that I couldn't wake up at 6. I couldn't do it. So I woke up at 8.
Why would you wake up at 6?
Because usually I wake up at 6 to start schoolwork so I can do all that before work. But I couldn't do it today. I just didn't have it on. Didn't have the Lord on my side this morning. So I woke up at 8, which was bad. But when I woke up at 8, I went to the gym. And it felt real good. I had a great workout. I almost threw up, but I didn't.
So that was your high.
That's-
That you
That was
did
my high,
up?
that I went to the gym.
Oh, okay.
What was your low?
It
Oh,
was
that
fun.
you didn't wake. Okay.
All right, Laura.
My high was magically moving on from this guy who I needed to move on from. I don't even know how, just like bye. I don't know how, so it was really
Oh.
great. But then the low was telling him that I did. And it was awkward. Yikes.
You know, when you magically move on from someone, it's really just the Lord striking you blind.
It is.
We all pray for blindness. All right, Shrimpy, go.
So I have very simple
He
ones.
doesn't even care.
Number one, the low was when I had to set my alarm for 11:30 p.m. so I could wake up again and change my clothing from the washer to the dryer.
Oh, I was like, change your what?
Yeah, you're what?
And then the high was when I was talking to my friend and he called his vocal range the range of a cow.
Oh.
It was so
That's
funny.
interesting
I
life
wanted to
that you
just-
live, Lise.
The high was last night when I went to the gym. Because a lot of times, I work out at a boxing gym, for those who don't know. A lot of times I go in and I'm like really dehydrated or like exhausted, and I just don't do a good job. But yesterday, I killed it. And my low was on the way here. When I picked something off my shoe, and suddenly, I kid you not, it was the size of a grain of rice, possibly smaller. You saw it. All of a sudden,
Suddenly our
I
whole
don't
car.
know what happened. The whole car started smelling like vomit, and I.
It was probably a stink
I was
bug.
grabbing my
That's what I was thinking.
face,
Didn't it
like
was this
something right
big.
here, and I was like,
the bug.
It looked like a
and it was
grain
on
of
my finger. I was
salt.
like,
Lisa, this is so
Okay.
I don't know
wrong.
what that was. I washed my hands.
I
3
hate the
times
story.
since then.
I hate it.
But that was the low.
We'll skip that.
All right. My high was that I made this apple pie that was probably the best apple pie I've ever made.
Oh my god.
And I had it for breakfast today.
A quick brag.
Pie for breakfast.
My low, no, I'm balancing out the bragging. My low is that I made cornbread and
burned it.
I
We were there.
showbiz me. I need to tell you why. We were having a deep discussion, and I actually left the cornbread in the oven for like an hour and a half. And I was like, "Quad!" I went in
Wait,
to
how
get
long
it.
is it supposed to be in there?
Like 30 minutes. And I got it out, and the whole top was like black and hard, like cement.
I saw you tried to like
Yikes.
harvest the organs, but
Oh, gross. I did actually harvest
That
the
is
organs.
rough.
I ate like the inner core was
Wait,
but,
doesn't
like, the
harvesting
whole-
something mean you like sell it?
No, it means
Means like you save
You
them.
do like get it
Really?
out.
Maybe,
No, don't-
maybe.
let's change the
I don't
subject.
know.
sold them to herself.
So Chris, what's your
I
high?
don't know.
No, you don't.
Okay, the high was that Lisa did my hair, so then I didn't look like
A loser.
a loser. Yes. And the
She
low,
looks like a Kardashian.
no. The low was that I ate fruit snacks for breakfast and I didn't really enjoy it.
That is the
Why'd you
worst
do
idea
that?
I've heard
Because
all
I
year.
have a bunch because I go to Costco. Cha-ching.
What?
Anyway,
She's looking for that sponsor.
I bought a giant thing from
She's
Costco.
saying that she's
okay?
rich enough to afford a membership.
No, I'm saying Costco makes you buy like 100 of each thing. So that's what I have.
What a hypnotizer.
I don't think that makes sense.
Next.
Well,
Anyway.
da 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 da.
When you
that's
make your
my
own
that's
transition
my
music.
transition music too. Fan question.
Fan question.
Whoa.
Wow, we're really good singers, guys. You should try it out as
Now
a
I
career.
think this lady Kathy. Is that your name?
Kath.
She's got
Kath
question.
on the beat. Okay.
Kath on the beat.
I gotta mortify you guys sometimes. Okay.
Oh no.
So this is from @Genesis 392046676.
Is that like a verse?
Unreal.
I don't think so. I don't think there's that many verses in Genesis. Hey Genesis. I'm still trying to get over my ex crush who really hurt me. It has been months now. How do you fully move on from someone?
Oh, honey. All right. Well, first of all, sorry, Amy. First of all, I don't really know if I'm the best person to give advice on this.
You are the worst person to
don't
give advice.
actually
You don't move on from anyone.
Hold on. That is very, very true. But I did move on from one person this year.
One time.
Okay?
All right.
And I was,
you did.
I
You were very
was,
sad.
as the kids say, smitten. And
Kids, what are you, an adult?
I don't know.
Anyway,
And I literally couldn't move on for months and months and months and months and months and months. But randomly, this past couple months, I just stopped caring. And I don't really know what happened. Probably was the Lord
Danny's
striking me
advice is
blind.
Stop caring.
Literally. No, my advice isn't really that good of advice, but it is to literally just wait it out. Like, just be sad and just embrace that you're not over it. And it's probably going to take a really, really long time.
I'll go
Okay.
after you.
And just write about it in your journal, pray about it, ask the Lord, talk to your friends. Just like beat the dead horse. Like, honestly, like people say, don't beat the
Aw,
dead
I
horse,
hate that.
beat the dead horse.
so sad.
And get it all out.
wait,
and then
that's what I was
eventually
gonna
you won't
say.
care anymore.
That's what I was gonna say. Didn't I
You
give
told me I was gonna
I
say
gave
this.
Catherine this advice, and I already knew it worked because I do it all the time. But she proved that it does work. Okay, people try to tell you like, oh, it's been like a month. How are you not over this? But really,
Get your mind off
it doesn't really matter. You have for me
distract
at
yourself from
least.
your
For me at
feelings.
least, if I just completely dive into missing that person, like I don't deny myself at all. Every time I want to miss them, I miss them. I cry all the time. I only listen to sad songs all the time, and I just like indulge myself. It's like wanting to eat ice cream. If you just eat ice cream for every meal all day every day, you're gonna get sick and you're
It's
not
so
going
true.
to want to do it anymore. But if you all day just go, I really want to eat ice cream, but I'm not gonna eat it, and then it's just gonna make it worse. So if you just indulge the crap out of yourself and just always miss
I don't
them
like
and miss
that.
them and miss them, eventually you're gonna get it all out, and you're gonna be like, okay, I don't even want to do this anymore. But you just have to really get it out.
I think I'm a good person to speak to this because
Lauren was next in the queue.
You just
Yeah.
cut in the line.
I didn't know you.
Lauren,
Shut
your
your
mic
mic off.
Okay.
Okay,
are
mine's pretty
so
quick.
cool.
I just want to say that what I do is I hit myself with the frying pan of truth.
Oh.
And I tell myself, I'm like, listen, he doesn't care. It's never going to happen. There's no hope for the future. There is no hope. This is never
is
going to
true.
change. And I stop thinking, maybe one day, maybe one day. Every time I think that, I'm like, no, there's no one day. It's not going to happen.
Wait.
I delete them on everything. I unfollow them. Sorry if that's awkward, but I can't see your rat face. If this is not happening, it's never going to happen. So I hit myself with the frying pan of truth, and I cut them off. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just hit you with a simple math problem.
Oh,
Okay? The amount you express is directly congruent with the amount you move on, okay? So the more you express, the more you move on, and it doesn't it's an inequality, which is a type of math problem.
Okay.
So,
whatever.
I didn't make it past algebra 2, and she's doing like trigonometry or something.
Okay,
that was like 5
whatever.
years ago.
I'm
Yeah,
the authority.
sorry. Amy's not in school anymore
so
either. But
there's
anyway.
3 points I want to make. So that was the first point. Number 2 is that it doesn't matter how long your relationship lasted. It matters how deep it was.
Yes.
So like you could have dated someone for like I don't know 2 years
6
and it wasn't that deep, or like a few months you didn't really care that much. So when you don't have that much to express to get over it because you didn't really care.
Well, also, some people start moving on in their relationship.
Yeah,
So, like, they
true.
already start moving on 6 months ago.
And then
done that.
if you dated someone and maybe it's only for like a month or something and it's really deep for you, like maybe they touch on a core emotional wound, I don't know. It could take you forever to move on. So it's not about
Don't judge yourself.
It's not about
Yeah.
the time spent, it's about the
Don't
the
listen to
deepness,
dumb
the depth.
rats who say it was only a month. What are you talking about?
Just
Don't
dive
do
in.
that.
Yeah.
And let me say something. Do not, because I know that everyone does this. Well, not actually.
Okay.
I know that a lot of people do this. Okay, a lot of girls. Do not go after some boy who's like your quote friend who you're like kind of in love with and be like, I'm just so sad about this guy, because
Don't do
most
that.
guys, first of all, are not going to make you feel better, and second of all, give terrible advice. So just like don't do
Well,
that.
and it messes with their
Unless they're like a genuinely like really really good friend, you know. But I mean like those ones who you like kind of know but don't really, and like you just want some male attention. Yeah, you just want some like male attention, so you like.
Don't do
You're
it.
like, oh,
You
I'm
like-
so sad. And they're like,
They're like, oh,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, I feel like a guy would be like, just forget about it.
Exactly.
Just distract yourself.
Exactly.
I thought she was going to say,
Not
like,
every guy.
I did not do that.
Not all men.
Hashtag not all men.
I was gonna say, don't
I didn't
confide
feel men.
in your male friends because they might like fall for you and you don't want to toy with their emotions.
No.
She's like, they suck and they're stupid.
Also,
I did not say
my
all
last
men. I
thing
just said a lot.
is
Okay.
that you need to respect their decision not to speak to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
don't
over,
stalk.
it's
It's
over.
against the
What if
law.
someone's
Don't do
sad
that.
about
Kath,
If it's over, it's over.
you think I'm not okay?
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do.
Add it.
Okay, so what I would say is I'm professional at this because I got over someone that took me
Professional.
7 months of being sad to finally get over them.
Can I just
What I
say,
did
wait,
was-
sorry, while you're saying this, Catherine and I literally like ended things
The
with
exact same-
the same person,
same person.
basically. Like
It
they had the
wasn't-
same
it wasn't the
personality,
same person.
but they had the same
Same
personality and
personality.
like everything was the same.
It was so weird, and all these things kept happening at the same
yeah,
time.
so everything was the same
on? Who
time,
moved on
and we
first?
both moved on from them.
I think we moved on around the same
Yeah.
time.
No, I'm saying who
Very
got
recent.
over it for real first. Was it you or you?
I don't know. I got over it like a
I,
month ago.
I would like
Oh.
say I thoroughly I scraped the pan. Like I got
of your soul?
every emotion
Me too.
out. I went on so many long walks. I literally started an entire new notebook for him. Almost
Wow.
filled it of like letters and thoughts.
Whoa.
Because
Bruh.
it's like Amy said, it wasn't that long, but it was deep.
Touched
it was
on a
very
chord.
I
deep.
wrote an
got a lot of
entire album of
feelings.
songs.
You didn't give
She
him the
was
notebook.
trigged.
Oh, heck no.
Let's
no.
just clarify that.
tell
Do
me
not.
No, I actually threw the notebook away in a rage. Finally, I was like, I'm done with this. And like, it's weird because since I threw it away, I'm like, I've literally, every time I think of him, I'm like, I don't want to see him. I literally have no
You
desire.
better not, whoever the reader is that asked us this, you better not have any mementos,
Oh,
any
get
things that.
rid of that stuff.
Guys,
Get
for
rid of it.
Valentine's Day, the guy who I just moved on from, he gave me a heart-shaped box of chocolates. Do you know what I did with the heart-shaped box? Tell me. What did I
burned
do?
it
I
on
set it
fire.
on fire.
Yeah.
And it felt great. And I moved
Well, it
on.
was easy for me because the guy gave me absolutely nothing.
Awkward, man.
Okay, let me add my quick thing. I'll just add one thing. For my very own personal experience,
Your fault.
how many words can I put for? Okay, for my experience, when you get to forgiveness is when you can move on, which is really hard because you want to be like angry and bitter and whatever, which is annoying. I don't want to be bitter. I don't like that. So as soon as I could get to forgiveness, I was able to move on from any dude I was like obsessed with. So that's like the key is getting through your sadness and your anger and your regret and your guilt and your shame and everything and getting to the point where you're like, okay, I forgive you. Once you get to that point, you're free.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Amen.
That's what works for me.
That's why you have to express so much, because if you don't feel ready to forgive yet, you just have to keep expressing it until you're ready to forgive.
I have one more thing to say. One last thing, then we can move on. Just that no one else said is that usually when you can't move on from someone, then it's because you're idealizing them. And if no one knows what that means, it basically means that you're sitting there and like thinking of every good possible thing that they could have done and said and are, and oh my gosh, they're just so
oh
much
my gosh,
better
I
than everyone
highly
else.
recommend writing down all the bad things about
Yes.
them or bad things they did
yeah.
to you.
Remind
like,
yourself.
Or like reread, like if you still have conversations with them, like reread the conversation and like not just the screenshots of all the good things they said, And like, just remind yourself that like they're just like a human being who's probably not that good. Like most people, if you're not like in a relationship with them, there's probably a reason for that. Like if they broke up with you, if you broke up with them, whatever, if you have to move on from this person, there's probably a reason why. Like most of the time, if you're not with someone, it's because you shouldn't be with them because they're not very good for you. So try to remind yourself of that. And honestly, sometimes it's easier to move on when you have conversations with the person. I feel like Catherine kind of gets this.
I can agree on this.
Because like when you're sitting there,
for me, yes.
yeah, like when you're sitting there not talking to someone for months, you're just like, oh, I bet if we just hung out or if we just talked or whatever, then this would happen.
No,
and then
you hit
actually,
yourself with the truth. You say no.
Okay, it works for you. It works for
I
you.
can't talk to them. I can't
But
You don't talk. You don't talk.
Some people, i.e.
We
me,
talk.
learn from experience, and you have to talk to this person and
Yes.
realize, wait, they're
For
actually
me,
really
it's
weird.
once literally exactly every 6 weeks. I get this overwhelming urge.
Yeah.
Like, I have to talk to
Yeah.
him.
Whoa.
And then I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh,
And then
I'm
you
the
realize
kind of person
envy
where
him.
it's like one last time of talking to someone actually really does help most of the time. Like sometimes they'll lecture you and then you're like, oh, I don't like you.
Exactly.
And then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to
I
bed.
fall
No.
right back in love. I'm in way deep.
Okay, so you don't do that.
As
So
soon
you
as we talk,
don't do
skip
that.
back.
Laura doesn't do
You
that.
skip that.
But we do that.
All right,
So it might
thank
work
you,
for
ladies.
Usually they remind you
Yeah.
how
Thank you.
much they suck.
To that reader, good luck.
Yeah, that was
with
a
your
good question.
situation.
Good cue.
Good luck, Genesis.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Good luck, Chuck.
Lisa.
Oh
my God.
It's time
For
Lisa's corner.
Or at least likes to call it. Wait, I just, that's what she
It's
calls
called a
Lisa's corner.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
Sorry, intro.
We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants today.
Oh
We
no.
all are?
And you know why we're
I
gonna
don't
fly
wanna-
by the seat of our pants? Because we have no top half. Do you know why? Why? Because you're wearing an invisibility cloak. Do you see?
She's wearing
That just made me so
she's
excited.
wearing a camouflage sweatshirt. For
She's
everyone
making
who
a weird
can't-
camo joke.
Can't see her.
The
Guys.
point is, if you want to be invisible, I have a product for you, and it's called this. Capital
called this.
THIS, trademarked. This product does not only make you invisible, it also makes you extremely visible on the internet. Because if you post a picture in capital this TM, some fun, cool, original, super awesome, like wild person will comment and say, "Where's your torso? I can't find your torso. You're a floating head." It is so. The comments are so creative. Like they never end.
This is a
They are
roast.
always so fun. Like you read it and you're like, like I never saw that coming. Whoa! So if you want like just the most fun people in the world, like you want to find good friends that are just like a blast, then all you need to do, purchase this
TM.
and put it on, take a pic, post
And
it
your
up on
torso
the
will
gram.
disappear.
Your torso disappears, and so does your patience.
Wait, can it hide
Wow,
you
that
from
was
your
a roast.
exes?
No, it'll make you more visible. Because your ex is probably your ex for a reason because they leave dumb comments like that.
Oh.
my gosh, you're like a floating head. Oh, like, okay.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
that
Who
was
knew
brought to
camo
you
could be so
by
controversial?
capital this.
TM.
TM.
Thanks
TM.
for watching.
I just want to say I'm
Amazing.
one of the many people who would say, "OMG, where's your torso?"
So this is the kind of person you want to block on all platforms. If you have her number, block it.
That was sad.
Oh,
It's okay though. It's okay.
Dan,
Aw.
do you have a story?
Christina just says, "Do you have a story?"
into that.
That was a great segue.
loved it.
Hey,
Kinda like
speaking of
sliding on
segues, remember people used to ride around on those all the time?
Wait, is that the
Yes,
scooter
I do.
one?
Yeah, like Justin Bieber was pushing those. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
everyone,
Literally.
listen up.
Dan, in our theme today,
Boy in a band.
our theme today is boy in a band. Dan's got a story about a boy.
I got a story about a boy who is in a band
In a-
currently. Actually, it's technically a boy
band is it,
band, which
baby?
is not a real band.
Do not say it.
Look, technically it's a boy band, which is not a real band, but it's not.
Roast.
It's not.
Roasted.
It's not. But but he wasn't actually in this boy band when I was talking to him, but he was still like a internet star. Anyway, so
We hate
back
internet
in
stars.
back in the day, I was 14 years old. I had red hair. I kind of dressed like a goth. And I was a desperate mongrel. Ooh. Which I still kind of am, but just a little less. Just a little less. All right?
Cool.
So we went to this.
Wait, I feel like you should have a flashlight with your hood up.
I should. So we went to this. I don't want to say music festival because it wasn't that like official.
Okay,
It was a
whatever.
performance.
It was
and
like
an
a performance
A
with
show.
lots of artists who are internet people and like YouTubers and stuff. So we went and performed and we were there and I'm sorry, this story just gets me like in a weird place because it takes me back to like 3 years
Takes
ago.
me back.
Yeah,
I
so
was right there.
I saw this boy. I saw this boy at this music thing. Concert.
No.
I'm just
we
gonna call
all
it the
saw
concert
him. We were
thing.
like, Danny, that boy's staring at you.
Yes.
We all
Yes.
said that.
Everyone was like, bro,
millions
he
of times.
is staring at you. What? So then me being the aggressive person I am, I was like, hey, what's your name? And he was like,
that's so aggressive.
I'm Travis. I'm going to call him Travis because that's what I did in the storytime video that I did about him. So he's
Okay,
like, I'm
Travis.
Travis. And I was like, hey, Travis. I didn't say that, but I thought it. And I texted my friend and I was like, bro, I met this really hot guy. Oh my gosh, he asked for my number. What? Because he asked for my number. And we were like talking and I was like 14 and he was like 16. And I was like, ooh,
dangerous.
He's like really attractive and like what? So anyway, that night, TM, we actually the night, yes, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That night, then he asked me to go on a ride with him at the fair because it was like a fair they were performing at, and so we went on this like swing ride. Everyone already knows about this. It's fine.
Yeah.
We went on like this swing ride together, and like Catherine was there.
Oh yeah,
and-
I was the chaperone that helped you guys run away or
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever. Anyway, and it was just like really, really, really magical. Like especially for a 14-year-old, like it was like, wow, this is goals.
I have to say,
TM.
seeing you guys on the ride was pretty cute.
It was.
Even
it
though
was.
he was a rat.
Even though he literally met me 7 hours ago and he was in love with me. So we got back to the hotel.
That's a red
Well,
flag.
I got back to the hotel.
Red.
It is.
flag.
Blazing
I got
red
back to my
flag.
hotel. I went in my room and I cried.
Why?
Because I was like, he's gonna hurt me. Like he's gonna hurt
She
me.
knew.
I was so scared.
She knew.
Sorry,
TM.
I don't have time for this comfort. So I was really, really scared.
She says, I don't have time for this comfort and interlaces her fingers with mine. Okay.
I just wanted to.
I know
so
where your heart is anyway.
anyway, Christina, being the great wing woman she is, she invited him back to our hotel to have dinner with all of us, with a bunch of other people that were like performing.
Such
whatever.
a good wing woman.
She's
I was right
always
there.
does that. She always does that. Whenever like I have a crush on an internet boy, then she's always like, "Hey, you guys should come hang out with us after
Bad
this."
idea. Now that I think about it.
Just for me. So anyway, why?
Because internet boys are
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Cheat.
Which is why we say never fall for a boy.
internet boys.
Well, Kath, we were learning.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
We didn't
we
know.
had
Yeah.
this conversation at dinner in this hotel in. Never mind. Sorry. We had this conversation for hours. Like him and I sat there and talked for like 4 hours.
And we sat across the table,
Yes.
me and some other guy, and we were like, oh my gosh, look at them. And they're like, they're still talking.
Yeah.
And everyone was like leaving, and we're like, they're still
Everyone left. We were the last people at the table, and there were like 12 people sitting there. So everyone ended up leaving. It was like 10 or 11 o'clock, and we were still talking. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. And so we ended up talking on the phone every night for like a month and a half, I think, 2 months maybe, because he lived in a different state, and I lived in California. But lo and behold, he was going to come to LA where I lived. So I was like, heck yes, I get to hang out with him. So he came to LA and we were filming a music video. And then he surprised me at the music video shoot. Like I didn't know he was coming. I like told him like to come and he didn't really confirm whether he was going to be there or not. And then he just like showed up and I was like, wow, that is so sweet. And and then the next day, same weekend, then we went to Universal Horror Nights. This was a great night. We went to Horror Nights, which is basically like a
Halloween.
Halloween like haunted house type thing, but like a really, really big haunted house. I don't know.
It's actually not fun at all. Continue.
Yeah, it's really not fun. But it was the first
give
time
it a
I ever
plan
went.
for it.
Stupid maze, a bunch of dumb people running around in
Yes.
masks.
Yes.
Oh, are you scared yet? Are you
Yeah,
scared?
exactly.
No, get out of my way.
Okay,
Anyway.
some people think it's fun. Not me, but some
I don't
people.
know
This is
those
keeping
people.
it real.
Anyway, so we went with a group of friends. Lauren and Lisa were there, right?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I think Amy was there too, right?
Heck no, you
Oh,
think I
just
went
kidding,
there?
just
No,
kidding.
no, no,
Lauren
no.
and Lisa and I all went with some of our friends. We'll quote friends.
Air
And before we got there, my friend, who I named Taylor in the video that I made about her, I'm just gonna call her Taylor again. She texted me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, is Travis coming?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's it to ya?" And she was like, "He's so cute, hard eyes." And I was like, I was like, girl, what do you mean he's cute? Like, yes, he is, but like, why would you say that? Like, I had told her about him. I had told her about him. So like, she knew that we were like a thing or whatever.
She forgot. She was
So I
trying to
was
let
like,
you know she ain't making a move.
She forgot. Yeah.
She got amnesia.
I was like, hey, that's weird, but I kind of just disregarded it, whatever. So then we get there and
Red
we're walking
flag.
around. We're walking around Horror Nights, and do you know what happens?
I can't.
Do you know?
I-
Yes, you know. We were walking around. I was holding his hand because it's Horror Nights, and so I was so scared.
I mean, holding hands with him, pretty horrific.
Oh, I hated that. Anyway, so we're holding hands, whatever.
Well, it is because
Keep going.
I look over, and she is holding his other hand.
is that not horrific?
It's horrific.
That's
It's
disturbing.
truly
That's
horrific.
disturbing.
Like, who wants? Okay, this is not your
If
story.
that was
I
me-
was like, who wants to do that?
That's
like,
disturbing.
why would you want?
It's when
So,
you can't feel anything. You need to
Wait,
feel
did he
something.
think that you both didn't see, or he thought you were both okay with this?
This is
So
what
I need
happened.
to know.
This is what happened. I looked over and he was holding both of our hands, so I let go because
Good.
I
You're like,
I may have been desperate.
You scraped up some dignity.
I may
Not
have been
that
desperate, but
desperate.
not that desperate.
No.
So I would listen, guys. It became like a cycle throughout the night where I would let go of his hand and like walk to the front of the group where like Lauren was or something else, and he would follow me up to the front of the group and like be like, oh hey, and then he would grab my hand again, and then she would follow him up to where I was and grab his other hand. So like it wasn't like he was asking to hold her hand, but like he wasn't letting go.
Yeah, what?
You know?
That is
She
bizarre.
just like went limp.
Exactly, but it didn't
I
happen.
tried to hold someone's hand.
It didn't happen. It was weird. It was very weird. So I ended up texting both of them after, and I was just like, what?
Text them in a group. All right, let's
Put
have
them
a
in a group and
conference.
just say y'all are sick.
Anyway, he was like, oh, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and like, and I was like, okay, it's fine, because I was obsessed with him. And then Taylor,
What if you're
I
married? You're gonna
texted
kiss
her-
some other lady so she feels better. What? That's not how it
All
goes.
right, stop with the interjections. I texted Taylor and I said some salty thing, and she was like, it's not even a big deal or something like that. She just said something rude, and that was the end of our friendship. But anyway, so
Give a smile at her
he
when I
goes
saw her.
back. He goes
As
back.
they've gone.
Everyone deserves
Shouldn't
a
have
smile.
smiled. I should have been like,
Listen, he goes back to the
I didn't know
state
this.
that he lived in, and I kept talking to him on the phone like every night. But he said that he was coming back to LA like a couple weeks later. So I was like, great, I get to see him again. And then I was like, why are you coming to LA? And he was like, because this girl wants me to be in her music video. And I was like, oh, what girl? And then he's like tells me who she is or whatever. And I was like,
Miranda
I was
Sings.
like, oh. And I was like, so
this girl.
why'd she pick you to be in her video? Like, you live across the country. Like, that's weird. Like, she could have picked anyone in LA. There's tons of people in LA. And he was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, she probably likes you. And he was like, what? He's like, no, she doesn't. I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I'm just like saying, like, it seems like she does because, like, flying someone out for a video. He's like, no, like, she doesn't. Like, he got super defensive. And I was like,
Just on the phone.
mhm.
You could hear him.
Oh, I could hear him. He was like, no, like, she doesn't like me. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So then he comes to LA, and do you know what happens? He doesn't freaking text me like the whole week leading up to it. So like he was in LA and like we hadn't talked like the whole week. So I was like, are we hanging out? Like I don't know what's going on. And then I guess we ended up talking again or something while he was still in LA. And I ended up going to meet up with him at the Santa Monica Pier. And the girl whose video he was gonna be in was there, like with him at the pier, and like her and her friend who was a guy. And I like met her, and we had that thing that like girls have like when they both like the same guy, where you like look each other up and down and you're like, who are you? So we had that. It was a weird moment. He hugged me in front of her and hugged me for like 1 second, which is weird. And I was like, this is weird. This is really, really weird. So that is the end of all my details. But after he left, this is the summary of the end of it. After he left, then I ended up stalking his Twitter, seeing this girl in his favorites who has the same name as me. And she's not an internet person, but she just was there, and I was like, oh, she's the same name as me, and we both like emo music. She's like similar to me, and so it was irrelevant details. I just felt it was funny, and I like saw her in his favorites, and then I saw him in her favorites, which is the typical sign of these teens. And so I was like, who is this? So me being the snake that I am, I followed her on Twitter because I wanted to know. Like, I was like, I'm getting to the bottom of this. So I followed her on Twitter. I didn't message her or anything, though. I just followed her. And then we ended up talking super casually, like not about him. And then I ended up mentioning him, of course, because I need to know. And she's like, oh, yeah, he's like, really, I don't know how to say this without scarring the viewers. He just like really creepy, basically, she said. And that like he's like hung out with her a couple times, like when he came to New York where she lives, and like that was like in the span of time that we were talking. And then she's like, yeah, he also, I think she told me, either way, I found out he was also having a thing with that girl whose music video he was in. So the exact same time that he was having a thing with me and talking to me every single night and like hanging out with me in LA, and the same weekend that he was hanging out with me in LA, he was hanging out with her and talking to her on the phone every night. Literally the same time. And do you know what he said about me? Because I ended up becoming really, really good friends with the girl whose video he was in. I ended up becoming really good friends with her, and she told me that the weekend that him and I hung out, that I met her at the pier that weekend, then he saw like a text. She saw a text of me on her phone, and she was on. Sorry,
His
I'm
phone?
confusing. She saw a text of me on his phone, and she was like, "Oh, who's that?" And he said, "Oh, it's just some girl who thinks that I like her, but like it's just like not like that. Like we're just like friends, whatever."
Oh, she just thinks I like her.
Scumbag.
And I was like, "Honey, what?" So yeah, basically found out that he had a thing with me and her. And I think a couple other girls at the same time. Honestly, I can't really keep track. There were a lot of girls, though. Like, I found out there were lots of girls.
That sounds like
I
a lot to
wasn't the
juggle.
only one. Yeah.
Stressful.
I honestly
One
gave him a
of
little bit of
12.
credit because he had a lot to
That was some
handle.
planning,
I know.
strategic.
It really was. Like, and I didn't even find
He's
out
like,
until
all right,
like months
5
in.
o'clock to 6 o'clock. I'll talk to
Yeah, exactly.
Lola.
Yes.
6 o'clock to 7. I'll talk to
Exactly.
Rebecca.
So
Disturbing.
basically, he ended up getting a
He's a good
girlfriend.
scheduler.
He ended up getting a girlfriend like a month after he stopped talking to all of us. And
hope.
that was nice. And then he continued to text me once every couple months and just keep himself in the back of my mind. It took me 2 years to get over him. But it's okay because that was three years ago. Yeah, so now I'm over it. I got over it
Well,
last year.
goodbye.
Good.
So yeah, that's my long cautionary tale about boys who have fans. I put in my notes
Who
to
need
self.
too much attention,
I put in my
basically.
notes to self, it says never interact with boys who have fans because of that. Because literally every single one, guys, I'm not kidding. I have not had a successful like thing, relationship, even interaction, whatever, with a boy who has fans. Like none of that is positive. None of
Ooh,
it.
that's
like,
rough.
All right.
That is
So,
rough.
you guys ready for my question of the day?
Yes.
We're
All right.
ready.
Today's question. What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you on a date?
First of all, I feel like I know what yours is, but I'm very curious. Because
Mine?
I'm like, do I have the right thing in mind or not?
No, I think I know what
I
it
think
is.
you all know what
Okay,
it is.
someone go.
Can you
I
go
think
first?
we all know.
I want Catherine to go first. 'cause I
Okay,
don't know.
mine is short and sweet. I had an allergic reaction.
Yes.
I knew it.
to the
What happened?
Did you throw up?
No. I just ate like seafood salad and my throat started itching. So I was like, and he was like, "Are you okay?" I also pronounced I'm not even gonna say it's too scarring. I pronounced an Italian food wrong to a very Italian boy, and he looked at me and he was like, "What?" and that was the same night. And I also
Dang.
wore a hoodie and sneakers and jeans to like a nice restaurant because I had no idea where we were going. So it's just like a very
Awkward
not
night.
yeah. Anyways,
that's
good
rough.
times.
I don't have like an embarrassing one, but I have a very awkward one. What was the question again?
What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on a date?
Okay, so also I wasn't technically on a date, but I was hanging out with a guy, and he was like showing me all this music, and I hated literally all of it. Like it was all terrible. All
That's so awkward when a
terrible.
boy
Like,
shows you a song and you're like,
not one song was salvageable.
horrible.
So I had to sit there and be like, no, I don't hate it. Like it's fine. He's like, no, like he was like, no, like you literally hate all this, and I was like, no, like it's fine. Like I don't hate this.
why didn't you just tell him that you hate
Because
it?
I didn't want
That's
to.
awkward. I'm always like, I hate
I'm a
this.
nice person.
Laura, you got some awkwardness? Some embarrassing?
No, I actually do. I was on a date, and then in the middle of it, I realized that there was a hole in my pants.
Where?
like, where, like the seam, like right at where the zipper is. So like in the front. But luckily, I was wearing a flannel, right? So I
good.
just put it around my waist, and like where the sleeves hung down, it covered it, and I was like,
Good.
Saved
That
by
is
the flannel.
Some risky business.
that was really
Close call. Ooh, I want to go. Mine is more awkward than embarrassing. It's just awkward. Like,
Oh, no.
we were going on a date. Well, okay, I thought we were just hanging out, and it was like early on, but I was like, I don't really care if he sees me without makeup. I'm tired. I put on like a velvet
Which
like,
is good.
sweatsuit and Uggs and no makeup. And I was like, okay, whatever. I thought we were just hanging out in my apartment. And he comes
When
over.
you're so extra,
and
a
was
velvet
like,
sweatsuit and Uggs. You're like a Kardashian.
I am always on. Anyway, and then I don't remember how he communicated this, but somehow told me that he actually had like a nice dinner planned for us. But he's not that much of a planner. He just had an outfit picked out that was like steamed and ironed and ready in his car, and I was wearing sweats and no makeup. And then he's like, whatever, we'll just go out and eat. And he was like all awkward.
I don't get why he
was
had the
his-
outfit in his
it
car.
was
He didn't even
his-
put it on. And why didn't you just change if you were at your own house?
Because do I look like I can throw on this makeup in 5 minutes? No. Okay, I'm just committing to the no makeup thing. So he just made a plan and forgot to tell me. So we just went out to like a random
Okay, if there's
Asian
any
food.
male listeners, which there or readers,
If
like
you make
two.
a plan,
There's probably like
you
5.
need to tell the person in the plan. Otherwise,
what to wear.
it's just a dream.
Yeah, if you're going on a freaking active date, tell them do not wear heels. Wear some sneakers. If you're going to a fancy restaurant, don't
Tips.
embarrass her. So she wears a hoodie and sneakers. That was so embarrassing.
Well, luckily we like reshaped the plan. Just said, okay, we'll go somewhere chill. He's and then in the middle, he's like, I've never been to dinner with a girl in sweats before. He's like, but he's like, it's kind of cute. And I was like,
why do you
okay.
care?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
go
No,
ahead.
he was
Amy?
just, like, shocked.
You got an embarrassing moment?
I don't really date much, so no.
Seriously?
Oh, wait, actually, you don't have an embarrassing one, huh?
Do I?
Okay,
No. I've had a lot of trauma.
I do not have an
Wait, did
embarrassing.
you throw up before your first date?
No, I almost did. Okay.
That is my story.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have an embarrassing thing because I really never get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Wow, aren't we lucky?
But this is just
don't get holes in our pants.
this is just awkward though. Like there's this dude I really did not want to go on a date with him, but I was like, oh, he seems nice. I had to force myself. So now I threw up because I really didn't want to go. And then I went there and I blocked the whole thing out because I was just like the whole time I was twitching probably like. Oh
Wait, was this when I was there too?
Yeah, and I made her come. I made it like a
She
double
made
kind of.
me come.
I made him bring a friend. It
I
was
stayed
like
with his weird friend. It was boring.
it was so boring. And he afterwards he's like, let's go out again. I was like, nope.
You're like,
Never.
oh,
Absolutely
nah.
not.
You're like, bye.
Yeah, so it wasn't embarrassing. It was just freaking weird.
Awkward.
Well, that wraps that up. We are going to get to an emotional time.
This might be my favorite segment.
Oh my! You
This-
always say that every time.
I
Okay.
love being fun.
She's
Okay.
So
she's
what's the segment
uptight.
called?
I'm trying to do a really good transition. She's
Okay, good.
uptight. She freaks out about things.
Likes to plan.
She's scared of everything. It's Amy Elizabeth
Don't forget about the fact that she's a legal midget.
Cimorelli.
Number one, I'm kind of offended.
Wait. I'll do a compliment. She's very nice and smiles a
And
lot.
very-
Caring.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Amy's current crisis.
So really, this should just be called Amy Can't Hang. Really?
Okay.
I just can't hang. I'm too high
Okay,
strung.
okay.
Anywho, and I was actually calling myself chill, and everyone laughs
Why would you call yourself?
because I don't realize
It's-
how high strung I am.
It's a joke.
Do you laugh too when you say that?
no, because I don't forget.
You're like, I'm chill.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's this thing about me where when I get emotionally, sorry, one sec. When I get
Okay, chill.
Okay.
Chill.
when I
Take
get
deep breaths.
emotionally overwhelmed, I faint. Okay, like my body shuts down. It's like, sorry, no, because like maybe I don't know how to process emotions. Who knows? So.
Your body's like.
It doesn't know what to do with all the stress because it's so small. So,
Okay.
The stress doesn't know where to
the
go.
first time this very fun occurrence happened, this has happened at least 4 times in my life,
But
if
we'll
not
tell
more.
about the specific one.
The very specific first time it happened was when I don't even know why we did this. We were like, oh, Christina being a wing woman for Danny.
Yes.
She's like, oh, we'll go to the mall with this boy
Famous unnamed boy.
that we did like a show with. I was like, okay. So we go, and it's so awkward.
It's just
I
tense.
literally wanted to die. He was like not even talking to us, even though he was like, oh yeah, do you want to go to? I was like, what is going on?
They were like totally like excited-ish acting, like kind of.
No,
Let's hang
they
out.
weren't.
They asked
No,
us to
they
hang
were
out.
like, yeah, let's hang out. And then we hung out with them and they were ignoring
They acted
us.
like we were the
They
scum
were
in the
ignoring
ocean.
us like we were these scum. I was like, who are we? Why are we here? I don't want to be here. So all of this just like anxiety started building up, and I faint in the food court in the mall.
Hey,
Could have
it
been.
wasn't like we just turned around. Amy was on the floor.
On the floor.
Okay.
Did anyone
Fun
see
fact
it?
though, when I faint, I like spring right back up.
Yeah, she springs
She has
up.
like a quick faint.
But
Yeah.
okay, the worst part though was you didn't see this. Obviously, you were fainting, but he walked away
Yeah.
when she
Did
fainted.
he see it and then walk away?
He literally and his
He
friend
turned
just went.
around, I saw it.
They just went like, and they literally just left
When
immediately.
you're a sociopath.
And I really want to.
Catherine!
Okay, I really want to say
offense.
his name and smear his name, but I'm not gonna do that.
No.
We are not in the business of ruining reputations. But anyway,
Not gonna compromise my Christianity.
yes, no compromise.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. He was young.
Not gonna hate on you in the magazine.
No, that's just
Anyway.
weird. That's just weird though.
So, yeah.
What person does that?
That's
it's weird.
A fun fact about me is
She
that I
faints.
faint when I'm emotionally overwhelmed.
and you had one.
It just happened last week, actually.
It was so sad.
It was.
Okay, here.
Saw
Wait, can I
boy,
tell from
kick
my
off.
point?
No, we're
I
not
want-
talking
I
about
want-
it. Well,
it's
this
Amy's
is another
case.
story for another time, okay? We're already like way long on this podcast.
Kat,
kid.
she doesn't want to talk about it.
No, I can talk about
Read
it,
the room.
but this will be another crisis.
Yeah, I want a
Fainting part 2.
Yes, this is a series of fainting.
So there you
okay?
have it.
Thank you, everybody,
Amy
for
faints.
listening.
Can I get some credit for creating the segment?
Yes.
Even though everyone thought it wasn't that good of an idea, I'm making
What?
that up. I'm making that up. I'm trying to make it more dramatic than it was.
I definitely thought
Okay.
it was a good idea.
Everyone thought it was a bad idea. I
Nobody
came in.
thought that.
I knew it was great.
I knew it
Nobody
was
thought that.
Okay, just ignore that. Ignore that. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up with the challenge, the Cimorelli challenge. I didn't make that name up. Of the week.
I did.
Yes. Congratulations.
Cimorelli
So
challenge.
the challenge is send a message of forgiveness to someone you're ready to forgive, but you just haven't yet. This is your nudge if you're in that place. If you would like to share your experience, like, hey guys, I did this, it was really hard, or you can, keep it not too detailed if you don't want to, or spill your guts, whatever you want. If you want to do that, you can tweet us. Hashtag
Cimorelli podcast.
Yes.
and we will favorite or like or whatever it's called. I'm too old for this.
And
you
let me
know?
just say something.
Our
I don't want to
faves.
put rules and regulations on your emotions or whatever, but if it's passive aggressive, it ain't forgiveness, okay?
Oh, that's true. That's
You're
true.
like,
I'm sorry that
forgive
I'm
you.
nice and you're not. That's not an apology.
Yeah, it doesn't
No.
count.
Doesn't count.
Oh.
All right, guys. Good luck with that.
That's a challenge.
I really hope it goes well for you. Lisa, why don't you, end this on a high note
Okay.
with your inspirational.
really good. Good job.
I want to take this and inspire you by telling you you can see through these.
These are
Wait,
you need to tell the readers what it is who are
Yeah,
listening.
wait.
She's talking about a
working?
fidget spinner, by the way. for
She's
all the
holding
readers.
a fidget spinner.
You take your phone, take one of these, you get it at the right angle, like right there,
Oh,
and it
no.
looks like a very
Cool mask.
Very ugly young man is what it looks like. I don't know why she does this.
ugly because this is how you attract a mate. Okay, you say, "I don't give a rip what anyone thinks,"
And then you look through your fidget spinner.
and then they go, "Sold." I'm not kidding. It works.
All right, I'm gonna try
Perfect.
that. I'll
That's
let you know if it works.
amazing.
Okay.
It only like works.
Thank
for
you.
Lisa.
Thank you for that tip.
Well,
this
we
is like
can't all be me.
this is great
Okay.
tips. It's like good housekeeping tips from Lisa. Thank you. We will all not ever take that tip. Ignore it.
That's what you think in her sleep. She'll be like,
Okay, no, I will never be taking that. Thanks for sharing. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
"Get out."
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.